Is it going?
Hi, Samantha.
Hi,
nice
Tiffany.
to see you again.
You too.
So, would you want to sit down? Or
Sure. Yeah.
It's been a little bit since I've seen you, so.
I told you I might need you to help me out a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you came back. So.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Well, tell me what's been going on since I last saw you. What?
We had that meeting at the school.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it didn't go so great. I sort of lost my cool.
Okay.
I can't stand the secretary there. She's just a total snob. They've labeled my kid, and they're telling me he's angry or he's a bully and he's pushing people down at recess. And I just think they're discriminating against him. They don't know how to deal with boys at this school.
Mm-hmm. What did they say specifically about his behavior and how, do they talk to you about how it starts or where they're seeing it at? I mean, is it just the classroom? Is it just at recess? Or, you know what I mean? Did they talk to you more about?
They said he's kind of pretty much like that all the time. Like he'll push to get first in line, and then outside, if he wants to go on the slide or on the swing, he'll just push kids off to get what he wants. And they said sometimes he does his work in the classroom, but he doesn't pay attention really great, and then is kind of poking on his friends and not really paying attention.
Okay. What are his grades like at school?
Well, this was just our first parent-teacher conference for this year. He had C's and a D.
Okay. So do you think that he feels like he's struggling a little bit in school, in his classes? Do you feel like?
I don't know. He didn't. Probably because he didn't do his homework.
Yeah. Okay. Whenever he gets home from school, you're typically home, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about what happens when he comes home from school and he walks in the door. What kind of happens after that?
Oh, he throws his backpack down and then he goes outside usually, which I figure is pretty good for him. He needs to just go play. Sometimes the dog's out there with him or he just plays. And then after a while he comes in and he's hungry and he'll eat. And then sometimes we do some homework. But, he has some shows he likes to watch at night. So he watches his shows. And then sometimes it's hard to get him to bed because, sometimes we're kind of yelling at each other. But he doesn't want to do his homework all the time. And I don't think he can read very well, but I was never a good reader, and my husband wasn't a good reader, and I think the school ought to work with him. They ought to help him, and they're just telling me he's bad.
Has the school, done any kind of testing, or have they mentioned any concern with his reading level at all, or?
No, they didn't say anything about that.
Okay. And that might be something, we can discuss, with them, just because sometimes they can do testing for kids to see where their reading level's at, or, maybe they need a little extra help in that area.
That might be good for him, because
okay.
I think they're just calling him a bully, and they're really not helping him. I don't know how to help him.
Right.
That's sort of why I send him to school.
Right. Well, why don't we want to talk a little bit more about home and kind of the routine that you guys have? So I know that you said he gets home and he kind of, plays a little bit and that kind of thing. Do you typically have a set-aside time to do homework, or is it kind of just whenever, you guys, like after dinner, or, do you have reminders, or how do you guys communicate there's homework and, that kind of thing? Do you know he has homework?
No, not always. I ask him to show me stuff in his backpack, and he usually shows me things, but I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I figure it's his problem if he doesn't do his homework.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you think it might be helpful to have like a kind of a check system that maybe if we talk to his teacher, because sometimes I'm working with kids, we do like a notebook kind of check, and where he brings home his homework, and you can look at it and you could sign that you've seen that he has homework or that he doesn't have homework. Do you feel like that might be I mean, something helpful for you to be more aware of if he has homework or not, since that's kind of a
Well, I was good at science. I could probably help him if he had some science homework. So, yeah, if it makes it back and forth, that might be helpful.
Right. I know that you said that sometimes you don't know if he has homework or not, so I was just wondering if that might be helpful for you to at least be informed to whether or not he has it, to kind of maybe follow up with him more.
It might be helpful if the teacher will do it.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll talk to her a little bit more about that and see if we can work something out. That way, at least maybe you being aware of, whether or not he has homework or not, that might be a start to figure out, is homework getting back to school and is it being completed?
Yeah.
That might give us a little bit more of an indication of what's kind of going on. So.
Well, I want him to do better in life than we have. So that would probably be good.
Okay. And I know you talked a little bit about he's been having problems with, behavior-wise at school. Do you see any of those kind of behaviors at home? So I know that he has a sister. So,
yeah.
I mean, what kind of, how does he get along with people at home, or does he listen, fairly well, or?
Yeah, he kind of, he doesn't always listen. He does tend to get a little physical if he doesn't like something, but I mean, we can still pretty much push him around. He still isn't bigger than me yet.
Right.
So.
What do you guys usually do? I mean, you said for disciplining and.
Sorry, I'm just letting you know I'm reading.
That kind of thing. What kind of if you, because you. Yeah, I know that you said you used to push him around or whatever. What kind of stuff do you guys use for discipline or setting boundaries with him?
I don't know. I'm not sure I know what that means.
Okay, that's okay. I mean, as far as if you ask him to do something and he says no, has he ever said that to you?
Oh,
he used to do something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your response to that? How do you guys get around that?
So you better do it because I said so.
Okay. And what's his response? Does he do it, or I mean, is that where you guys start yelling?
Yeah, that's pretty much where we start yelling.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Isn't that normal? I mean, I thought that's.
I mean, he is at that age where it sounds like he's maybe being a little bit defiant a little bit to you, and that's
I'd say
pretty normal childhood thing. I mean, he's at that age where that's going to start, and you're going to start seeing that more probably. So that's why I think it's great that you came in today, because that's one big thing that you want to maybe try to get a hold of as far as getting those boundaries set now and getting a good routine, for him to, know as he gets older, because it's going to get worse if it's not, kind of, if you guys got to figure out a way that, you guys can set firm expectations and follow through, be consistent, which I know is hard.
I figured he ought to just listen to me. I didn't realize we'd have all these problems.
He's so easy that way, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's too hard.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you a few more questions, more about your family, to kind of just help me just, see how your family works together, and we could talk a little bit about what other agencies or family supports that you guys have, so we can kind of talk about, as we begin to develop some goals, to work on what kind of supports you guys have already that can kind of help you, support you as you're working through those. Because I know that we've talked a little bit about school, his attention, his behavior, and so kind of working towards how do we want to work on improving those areas, so that, as you were saying, he can be a good student and, be a good person. So anyway, I wanted to, I like picture things. I feel like it's always helpful. I'm a very visual person.
Yeah.
I don't know if you are.
I like to doodle.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I draw.
So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to draw a little circle here, and this is going to represent your family, okay?
Okay.
Okay. And this is you over here, Samantha. And what is your husband's name? I haven't met him.
Don.
So. Don. Okay. Don. Okay. And then your son, John.
Uh-huh.
Okay. He's the oldest. And then you have a daughter.
Right.
What's her name?
And her name is Melody.
Melody. That's a pretty name.
Thanks.
Okay. And you guys are married, correct?
Uh-huh.
Okay. How long have you guys been married?
Oh, well, we got married after John was born.
Okay. Okay. So how long? So John is
We got married 7 years ago.
7 years ago. Okay. And John's 8.
Because John's
That's
8
right. Yeah.
now.
That's right. Okay. So married. Okay.
Yeah, Melody goes on the bus with him to go to school because she's in kindergarten now. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what they do together. She just kind of watches everything.
Yeah, does she?
Yeah.
Do you see do you see some of the behaviors out of her that you see out of John, or does she?
She's quiet.
She's quiet. Okay.
Yeah. No, she's like a totally different person than he is.
Is she?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know where he came from. Maybe he's like my husband. I don't know.
Like your husband. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe he's like me.
Maybe he's like you. Maybe he's like both of you.
Maybe
a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Do Melody and John get along together? Do they play together sometimes, or how is he with his little sister?
Yeah, they're pretty good as long as she just does whatever he wants her to.
Yeah.
And usually she just kind of follows, and she's kind of happy, so she'll do what he wants her to do. Sometimes she comes and plays by herself, or she likes to look at books, and so she'll come inside and sit by herself and look at a book, and he'll stay outside. But they don't really have too much conflict or any problems unless, well, she doesn't really stand up to him. Sometimes she comes running to me, and then then I fuss with him.
Right.
So we probably have a little bit of an issue, he and I, but they're good together.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. That's a very positive thing. That's good. Okay. Well, and what I'm gonna do is draw a picture of kind of the different areas just in your life that touched you in some way, as far as a career, the school, and we're gonna talk about if they're stressful to you or if they're positive, if you feel like they help support your family and that kind of thing. So, so the school is involved with your family, and I know that Don works. Right?
He works. He's at Sarah Lee.
Sarah Lee. How long has he been there?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Great. Good for him.
It's good. We have health insurance, and it's
That's
good.
Positive. Okay.
He gets a ride to work every day, so he has good friend. He has a carpool, but he has friends.
Okay. Because you guys right now, you're without a car.
We don't have a car, and
Okay.
he can drive, but I can't drive right now.
You can't drive right now?
No.
How come? Do you have a license, or?
Well, yeah, I did, but.
You did? What happened?
Well, I lost my license for a while because they said I had a drinking problem.
Oh, okay. Okay. And who's they?
Well, the police stopped me.
Who stopped you? Was that your first time, or?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. So maybe a couple times before then, that's happened before. Okay. Do you feel like there's a drinking problem?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, what's a few beers every night?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, are you, because you obviously don't have a license anymore, are you on any kind of probation or anything like that as far as?
Nope, I just don't have my license.
Okay.
But I'm not on probation, and
okay.
I just haven't been working since then either. That's why I'm home all the time with the kids.
Right. It's a little difficult
crazy
to get around with.
Yeah, I mean, Don, we already have to get help for him to get back and forth to work, and then throwing me into work, and then the kids, and getting off the bus, and they have all these early outs from school, and
right.
it just wouldn't work.
Right. That would be difficult to kind of juggle all those different things and stuff. So, do you feel like being home is the best thing for, do you feel like that's a good thing at this point in time, or?
Yeah, I think it is, because I think that's what our kids need.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's great then. So, it's good. Some things, sometimes things happen so that, because obviously, you feel like it's working out really good right now for your family.
Yeah.
You could be there for John because he's having some problems, so that's good.
What does this one mean? What does that little squiggle
Oh,
mark
yeah,
mean?
I was going to just tell you about that. That's just representing maybe a little bit of stress in your family because your transportation is, you have to really work it out, when you're going to go somewhere. So that can create a little stress in your family.
Yeah,
So,
oh yeah, for sure. Especially
Yeah.
when it's snowy outside and we have to walk to get groceries or something.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, as far as family, do you guys have any family in the area, or?
Don's family lives up in Savannah, his mom, and so sometimes we go see her on the weekends, and we could do laundry up there. So she's around. I don't have any contact with my family. I have a mom. She lives in Florida.
Okay. Do you guys not talk, or no? Did you guys have like a falling out or something, or are you guys just? I mean, do you not get along?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are you close with this side of the family more so?
Yeah, we go up there on the weekends when we can, if we can get a ride up there.
Sure.
And we need to get stuff done, so we can get laundry done, and the kids like to play up there. They're happy. Yeah, his mom is great.
Good. That's good. So she's a positive. Do you feel like she's supportive of you guys? And
yeah.
Does she help you sometimes with the transportation, like getting to the store, do you think? Or?
No, because she's up in Savannah, so no, she
then.
doesn't really help with that. But when we're there, she lets us use her washer, and she usually feeds us when we're there. So that's okay. I don't expect her to do more than
Right. Well, that's good. I mean, that's great that she's able to help you. So would you say then his family is a support for you? That's what that line means.
Yeah.
And then do you feel like there's any stress caused from maybe not talking to your side of the family? Do you feel like that's caused any stress in your family? Like, do you feel like you wish they would be more supportive of you? I mean, or you just kind of, you don't really think about that very much?
I don't think I can go there right now.
Okay. That's okay. Okay. What about, do you guys have friends in the area or anything that you're involved in the community?
Well, no. Involved. No, I mean, we got our new neighbors in the apartment, and she and I have been talking some. They have little kids.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes if she needs to go out, I'll watch her little kids for her. Her name is Cheyenne. She's pretty cool, and we tend to help each other. We've got another friend. He's pretty sick now, though, and he lives a few blocks away. We've tried to stay in this area so we can still walk to where our friends live, and I got to walk to Kovacs too. So we're kind of always in the same area, but we've moved a lot. So we've got him. He's kind of sick. He's on disability, so sometimes I just go hang out with him. He's getting oxygen, but he's still smoking, and then I'm not allowed to smoke when I'm there.
Right.
So sometimes I don't stay very long.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll say that's a strong, a supportive relationship.
Yeah, we've known him forever.
Yeah, and for school, I'm going backwards here, but it's a good thing. It's a strength, but also I think it causes some stress. Do you feel like that it causes you guys some stress?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you mentioned that several times, so. And this is a positive thing, Don's employment.
Yes.
And health insurance.
Sarah Lee's been awesome, yeah, and they still give us health insurance.
Now what kind of hours does Don work? Is he home very
Well,
much?
his shift kind of changes, but right now he's working third shift. When he's home, he's sleeping or he's here.
Mm-hmm.
He's all right. We're good together.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay. And does he work the day shift or night shift or?
Well, it kind of changes every few weeks.
Okay.
So he's working 3 to 11 now. He doesn't work over the nights too much, but it doesn't seem like he's usually here in the evenings, like for bedtime and all that for the kids. And sometimes if he comes home, they wake up and we can't get anybody to bed. So I don't know what's the perfect time, because if he gets up to work at 6, then they're up then too.
Right.
They like seeing their dad. I know they like seeing their dad.
Right. Do you think they miss him a little bit because they don't get to see him as much as they want? Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like that maybe is a little stressful to you? I mean, when they come, like when the kids get home from school because you're making dinner, you're trying to occupy them. Do you feel like that's stressful at all?
Only when John is kind of being a bully with his sister. But if he's playing and goes outside and plays with the dog,
yeah.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Okay. Well, all right. And to talk a little bit, I know that you said that you don't have really any contact with your family, and you had mentioned that you've been pulled over for drinking and driving. Do you, looking at your side of the family, have you had any kind of like family history of alcohol abuse or drug abuse or any kind of mental health issues, that kind of thing that run in your family?
Well, yeah. My mom's totally psychotic, so whatever that means.
Is that your diagnosis?
Yeah. I don't know if she takes any drugs or anything for her problems. So I have a mom. She's weird. I have a brother, and he was in the service, and he lives somewhere else in the States now. He kind of had some drinking problems, but I don't know. I think that was related to the war and his time in the service. I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot to do with him anymore. But, yeah, my mom is pretty crazy. I'm not as crazy as she is.
You say crazy. What do you mean by that? What makes her crazy?
Well, she's like on and off and on and off. Like I never know how she's going to be acting.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to, when we were kids, some days she'd be like sleeping all day and the covers over her head, and then other days she had lots of energy. So it was weird.
Okay.
My dad, I didn't have her contact with my dad ever.
Okay, so it was your mom that was raising you and your brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know much about Don's family? Is there any kind of history in his side of the family with mental illness or drugs or alcohol addiction, anything like that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
His mom's pretty cool. She's always there for us.
Right.
She always know how she's gonna act, not like my crazy mom.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm trying to think here. And the reason I was asking some of those questions because I know that you were talking about how John's behavior, he's having a hard time focusing and that kind of thing. And sometimes things like that, might run in the family. And so that's why I was kind of asking some of those questions. Have you ever considered maybe trying to get him evaluated, have an assessment to kind of see if there's anything going on, from a doctor's point of view? Have you ever considered that before?
No, I always pretty much just kind of thought that was John. I don't know. I guess I need to have a good meeting with the school, but that's going to be a little difficult since I kind of walked out on him last time.
Right.
If they would give him a chance. So, I don't know. I figure they're the experts. They ought to know what kids are supposed to do and how to work with them. If they could do something to help him and help fix him, that'd be great. I don't know.
Well, and I think that
possible.
Your word "fix him," I don't know if that maybe is the right way maybe to say it because, he may, have some things that he's struggling with that he may deal with for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? So, especially if it's just his nature to maybe have a hard time focusing or, sitting still or whatever, he's going to have to learn some ways to maybe kind of recognize that and then be able to, have some ways to know, okay, when I recognize this, what can I do, to slow myself down so I don't get in trouble, so maybe I don't hit that person or, you know what I mean, like some cues that he can recognize where he can stop his behavior. And that's maybe going to be, it's not something that's going to be fixed, but something he's going to have to work through. And I think maybe this is, me just listening, is I think that maybe you and I can definitely work together to kind of help him, in recognizing some of those things. And so we don't get to that point where he has a meltdown, you know what I mean? Or he's not telling you no, or you guys aren't screaming.
Yeah.
If we can, take a step back and kind of recognize, okay, when do I recognize that we're starting to go down that trail, that's going to lead to a big yelling match, So so I think that you and I can work a little bit together and recognizing some of those cues. So you can try to slow that train down before it gets to that, derailment, and that he can, and he can himself, do the same thing, whether it's taking a break, he's like, he can recognize, I'm going to start, I'm going to freak out, I'm going to go to my room, Mom. Being able to verbalize those things. I think that right now he might not recognize those things, and he's just physically acting out.
Are you going to work with him too, or are you just going to work with me?
Yes, and I think that what I can do is I can even go and work with at school sometimes if there's issues,
that'd be great.
So that we can kind of talk through some of the things as they happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be beneficial to him, and then I can even come to your home. We can set up a time, however often you feel like you would want me there to kind of work through some of the things that are going on at home, and we can kind of talk through them and maybe reflect back on them and kind of work through how can we do it differently next time. What are some things I can try so that we don't result in this big just yelling match?
Yeah.
Do you think that would be beneficial to you? Feel like that would reduce some stress that you're feeling?
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I mean,
yeah.
I can't say I've ever done anything like that before, so I don't know. It's worth a
Okay.
try.
Okay. Well, I'm really glad that you're really willing to give it a try, and I think that we could do a lot of good together, and I'm actually real excited because I can't wait for you to kind of teach me kind of how your household works, and maybe we can just kind of see how it goes. So together.
Okay. All right. Let's do that.
Okay.
When are we going to get together again?
Right. Well, do you want to maybe start next week? I can come out to your home.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
You can talk a little bit from going from there.
Mm-hmm. And when can you go see John at school?
Well, let's meet next week at your home.
Okay.
And we'll talk a little bit more about what kind of behaviors you want to start focusing in on first. Okay. And then I will, in the meantime, talk to the school, and I'll have you sign some release forms.
Okay.
So we can communicate, and maybe I can talk with this teacher a little bit too, and get some input from her, so that whenever I meet with you next week, we could talk about a little bit what she said.
Okay.
And so we can start a plan from there.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yep, that sounds good.
Thanks, Samantha.
Thank
so glad
you.
You came in
Thanks,
today,
Tiffany.
So.
Yep.
All right.
See you next week.
Okay.
I'll try to clean up before you come.
No worries.
I'm so nervous.
Oh, good. Oh, you are amazing.